Commissioners' June 15th meeting to order at 6:05 p.m. And I'll call on the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioners Cavell? Here. Gershenson? Here. Gingell? Here. Hoffman?
Present.
Jackson? Here. Johnson?
Present.
Joliet? Here. Long? Here. Lubes? Here. Markham? Here. McGilvray? Miller? Nelson? Here. Powell? Here. Rahman is excused with notice. Smith Charles? Present. Spiz? Where'd he go?
He just stepped out.
All right, I'll come back to him. Whitebird? Here. Woodward?
Here.
Should I say Spiz? Present. Thank you. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Tonight's invocation is going to be led by the Honorable Karen Joliet, who will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Commissioner.
Good evening. I'm going to follow my fellow Commissioner Charles' lead in May honoring mothers, so I'd like to honor fathers today for June. So let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the gift of fathers in our lives. We pray for all the fathers today that they may be strengthened and encouraged in their roles as fathers. We pray that they may be given wisdom and guidance as they lead their families. We also pray for those who have lost their fathers, that they may find comfort and peace in your loving arms. We ask that you bless this gathering today as we come together and recognize Father's Day. May we be reminded of the importance of our fathers in our lives and the impact that they have on our communities. We also pray for this civic body that we may be guided in your wisdom and grace as we make decisions that affect all residents. We ask that you bless us with strength and courage to lead with integrity and compassion. We ask all these things in your holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Joliet. Next up, we got approval of the minutes from our May 25th, 2023 meeting. Can I get a motion approved? Moved by Lube, seconded by Gingell. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the minutes have been adopted unanimously. Next up is approval of the agenda. Agenda as presented, and if everyone refreshes, everything should be on there. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Commissioner Jackson, seconded by Commissioner Long. I want to bring attention to one item. This would be under the consent agenda 11F. This was an item that went through committee a couple committees ago. It wasn't on a subsequent board meeting. It's being brought on the board meeting now. It passed unanimously in committee, but I want to make sure that you know that it's on there. Any discussion on approval of the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the agenda say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that the agenda has been approved unanimously. This will bring us to some presentations, and we've got a couple great presentations this evening. And the first, I will call on Commissioner Powell and Nelson to read a proclamation for Team Pontiac.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, people in here now. Let's say something. Okay. So today, the Oakland County Board of Commissioners has a proclamation honoring Team Pontiac. Whereas reaching the upper echelons of success in sport is not only about elite athleticism, but also the character of dedication of the players and coaching staff. And whereas with multiple state basketball championships through Special Olympics Michigan, Team Pontiac exemplifies this principle. The 8-player community team is based in Pontiac and led by head coach Tony Pittman and assistant coaches Fred McFadden Jr. and Larry Redmond. Under their leadership, Team Pontiac has won 5 consecutive state titles and 7 total since 2014. Yes, let's clap that up. And
Whereas Team Pontiac has represented Michigan at the Special Olympics, USA Games in 2018 and in 2022, bringing home a silver medal each time. The impressive abilities and competitive spirit of teammates Fermir Collazo, Marquise Eason, Deontay Giles, Rasheen Hatton, Andrew Howell, Anthony Jasper, Nathaniel Perkins, and Orion Ramsey have helped break down the stereotypes about people with intellectual disabilities and served as an inspiration to us all. And whereas the team's winning always continues, in March, Team Pontiac clinched the traditional male Division I championship in the Special Olympics Michigan State basketball finals. Driven by their passion for the game, Team Pontiac is working to go for the gold and qualify to once again play as Team Michigan at the 2026 U.S. Games. And
whereas on this occasion, we join with Team Pontiac players and coaches, the Pontiac community, and basketball fans everywhere to celebrate the accomplishments of these incredible athletes. Now, therefore, David T. Woodward, Chair of Oakland County Board of Commissioners, Commissioners Angela Powell and Kristen Nelson, and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim special commendation to Team Pontiac. We congratulate them on past achievements and cheer them on in the continued pursuit of their goals. So before I bring them up, I just want to say I wanted to really take time to honor Team Pontiac. And a lot of you may not know this, but my parents are deaf, for one, and my dad was a great athlete. So anytime, as my colleagues know, anytime we see athletes or individuals doing anything good in our county, they know I'm always trying to find a story so we can share it here with our colleagues in our county. And then also, I know Kristen, she can tell more about her own personal life, but she also works in this space with these individuals. So I thought it was just so fitting. And also, we both serve Pontiac. So that's another reason why I wanted her to join. So at this time, can we bring up the wonderful Team Pontiac? Yeah, y'all gonna say a few words too. Come on. Y'all not shy. And Fred McFadden is my god brother, so that's another. And our parents both are deaf, so it's good he's in this space helping that community. So I'll turn it over to coaches, players, if y'all want to say something.
Thank you, Coach.
Of course. Well, first of all, we want to say humbly that we are very thankful and very proud of our accomplishment. This winning is hard work, but it's fun, and then we enjoy it. But the biggest thing for us as coaches to these young men is that we wanted to turn them from boys to men, and that's what we have done. And these athletes presented themselves just like if you would have thought they were NBA champions, the way they carry themselves. They are model citizens in the community, and some of them are husbands and fathers that we have here. So I believe the true winners is the coaches, because it took teaching, because anybody can dribble a basketball, anybody can pick it up and shoot it, but to teach boys to become men is the biggest championship goal that I think the coaches and I feel that we've accomplished. So again, we want to say thank you so much to the county commissioners, to my god sister Angela, and we're just going to keep trying to represent Oakland County, City of Pontiac, and the state of Michigan the best way we know how. So again, thank you very much.
I also want to, I have two of my players here that went to represent the country, USA, and that's Nate and Fermir. They went to France. Show you. And we'll have other guys that will participate the next time.
So they just got off the plane, so they hurried to get over here to this presentation.
Oh, thank you for coming.
So we'll all take a picture in the front. Let's take a picture.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. And all of a sudden, I feel warmer. Like all that positive energy in the world. Our next proclamation, I'm going to give a little preamble for this next proclamation. It's a reminder that democracy isn't always easy. It's sometimes messy. It requires a lot of hard work, but the confidence in our democracy rests on the election administration, election staff, and all the volunteers that make things work. And tonight we honor the service, decades of service to supporting democracy, making sure every vote counts, and serving the residents of Oakland County. So I'm going to call on Commissioner Brendan Johnson to present a proclamation to the one and only, the legendary Wilma Cotton.
Absolutely.
I see Team Wilma's in the house.
Oh, yes.
Wilma's in the house.
Mr. Chair, if I could steal the Honorable Clerk of the County to come on up here, too, for just a second.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. You
can't keep her too long because she keeps all the minutes.
I will just say I've only been in this job for 5-6 months now, and every time that we meet, I'm blown away by all the cool stuff that's happening in this county, and that's been happening in this county, from sports to really the front lines of democracy today. It's truly my honor as a freshman to acknowledge the retirement of someone who has served so diligently on the front lines of democracy, this country's been through a lot over the course of its young life, right? There are lots of countries out there on the planet that are a heck of a lot older than us, but I really do thank you. Thank you for the work that you've done to preserve our country and the democracy that we hold so dearly. So with that being said, just a little bit of background here, and then we can kind of toss around resume points and all that fun stuff. But Wilma Cotton, a wonderful resident of my district, District 4, has served in member and leadership roles on the Oakland County Board of Canvassers for the last decade. The board is comprised of 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. The duties of the Oakland County Board of Canvassers include canvassing the votes cast and certifying county elections for local, countywide, and district offices. Every 4 years, members also inspect the county's ballot boxes and are responsible for conducting recounts as necessary. And Ms. Cotton has served diligently and with great admiration from all of her colleagues. But I'll toss it over to you two folks.
To read or talk?
Where
are you?
I'm reading it. But
where are you?
Well, I'm here, but I'm trying.
You're here?
I'm leaving out the whereases.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, did you do this one? Assistant
did not do that
Did
one
not
yet.
do that. Okay, so Ms. Cotton served.
Wilma, this is an improv of your life.
We kind of crashed his presentation because I feel a deep connection with Wilma, who has been the clerk in the district I represent, who's actually been assistant clerk at the county, and so I wanted to be a part of it. And
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Ms. Cotton served periodically as assistant canvasser beginning in 2005 and was officially appointed as a canvasser in 2013. She was reappointed 2 additional times and served as the Board of Canvassers chairperson. Not an easy task. Her final term ended effective January 1, 2023.
Am I ad-libbing or am I reading?
Whatever you want.
I'll ad-lib after, okay. Ms. Cotton's extensive experience in elections, including 17 years as Bloomfield Township Clerk and a brief term as Oakland County Deputy County Clerk Register of Deeds, is among the many qualities that helped drive the achievements of the Board of Canvassers during her tenure. And, you want me to go?
I mean, if you want to. Okay.
Go ahead.
On the occasion of Wilma's retirement from the Oakland County Board of Canvassers, we, all of us here at Oakland County, not just in the Board of Commissioners, but truly in the clerk's office, elections, everyone at the county, want to join your family, your friends, your colleagues in thanking you so hard for your years of service to our democracy, your faithful service to the voters of Oakland County, and your service to all Americans. We thank you for your extraordinary commitment to our county and your contributions to our democracy. So now, therefore, all of us would like to present you with this wonderful proclamation celebrating your achievements.
Can I have a minute?
Please do, please do.
Okay. So I just want to ad lib that normally we rotate or take turns between who's the chair, between a Democrat and Republican, but we kind of didn't do that. And Wilma served as the chair year after year and was such an asset on the Board of Canvassers. Having her knowledge as a former clerk was priceless. And she's going to be missed, but we wish her the best in her next chapter. And I can't thank you enough for everything. We've had a lot of fun times. It's been interesting. We've seen a lot of different things, and I'm glad that we got to experience that together, and thank you for everything that you've done for us. Appreciate it.
You want to say a few words?
I'm overwhelmed. And I would like to thank Chairperson David Woodward and Co-Chairperson Marcia Gershenson and all this august body of commissioners. I thank you sincerely. I also would like to thank the Board of Commissioners for the original appointment and for then the several times after that, the confidence and trust that you had in me. I thank you for the reappointments. And I would be remiss if I didn't say something about the high regard I have for Joe Roselle, the elections director of the county. Joe was a very knowledgeable man. They have a great team under the direction of Lisa Brown, the clerk. And all the employees, they make a great team. They have a great elections team there. And you need never, ever worry about any corruption in the voting results in Oakland County. Oakland County has one of the best election departments in the whole state, and I say that with utmost confidence. I thoroughly enjoy working with each one of them, and I count each employee a friend, and I have enjoyed my many years working with them. I also want to just say that having worked as a clerk in Bloomfield Township for so many years, I know the fright and the panic of receiving a telephone call from the canvass board after the election. It means problems. So I hope I succeeded. I hope I succeeded in, when I had to make those calls to the clerk, I hope I succeeded in being pleasant and understanding. And in my mind, the clerks are greatly underappreciated. And all the clerks, municipal clerks, have a special place in my heart, and I always wanted to be very kind and work together to solve the problems, because we have to balance, we have to certify the election. And I just am overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed with this proclamation. It comes as a total surprise. And I thank you very much. I thank the commissioners. I ask the Lord to bless you and to give you wisdom. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. We'll take a picture. But I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege and invite one of my absolute favorite clerks, Jan Roncelli, to come up, your team, Eileen Polker, Debbie Binder, Dina, please come up. Everybody that's here. Martin, the current clerk of Bloomfield Township. Sure. We'll have Leo Savoy, come on up, and Neil Barnett. This is like old home week for me.
Where do you want us?
Come on up here.
She worked in the clerk's office. Yes, it is.
I'm so sorry, I forgot. What's the name? What's the name of the woman? And Carol, I'm so sorry. Please come up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Wilma. I mean, you and your team of the Board of Canvassers has made certain every single election without hitch. I mean, sometimes some hiccups along the way, but made certain that out of 1.3 million people, every single vote has been counted, and usually counted long before the rest of the state of Michigan. And so thank you very much. Don't be a stranger. You're a model for all of us, and we're going to miss you at the Board of Canvassers. We have another proclamation, which I believe is being presented at an event, the World Refugee Day event. And so we're not doing a presentation today. You're going to be presenting at the event. That's my understanding. Is that correct? Whatever you want. You want to do it? You want to do it here? Okay. Well, all right. Well, then let me call on Commissioner Miller. To recognize World Refugee Day and mention what events are on the horizon.
Thank you, Chairman. And I do apologize. I'm just getting over sinus infection, so if I have to stop or take a drink, I'm a little, just everything's breaking up. So proclamation is World Refugee Day 2023, whereas we are proud to observe occasions that honor those who who lend their experiences to help make Oakland County a diverse, vibrant, and prosperous county, and whereas refugees or those who have been forced to flee their homes due to prosecution, war, or violence have made significant contributions to the social, cultural, and economic fabric of our local communities and the entire county and country. Oakland County has a proud history of welcoming immigrants and refugees and support their integration and success. And whereas the current global refugee crisis demands a response for all levels of society to address the needs of refugees and promote their well-being, the well-being that we all deserve today, of critical importance of the refugee community in access to education, important health care, housing, employment opportunities, as well as cultural orientation and language services to help ease their entry into a new society. And whereas on the occasion of World Refugee Day 2023, we joined the Chaldean Chamber of Commerce to express our support for all refugees, renew our commitment to welcoming them into our community, and raise the awareness of their unique needs. Now, therefore, David T. Woodward, Chairman of Oakland County Board of Commissioners, Commissioner William Miller, and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim June 20th, 2023 World Refugee Day in Oakland County. We encourage everyone in this room and watching us online to join us to provide a safe, inclusive community for all residents in Oakland County. Thank you. Does anybody want to come up and take a picture? Anybody want to come up and take a picture? If we have the photographer here still.
Yes, the what?
Right. I don't know where she went.
Who is it? Who is it?
Sarah?
Sarah.
Isn't she the photographer?
Oh.
Yeah. There she is. There she is.
So there are events you gotta let us know.
Yeah. What's it like? This better?
Oh, there you go.
All right, everyone look here, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
It feels like there's 6 people missing. It's so weird.
Crazy.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Miller. And next, I'll bring us to communications. And I believe there are some communications. So Madam Clerk.
Yes, communication dated June 15th, 2023, to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Please accept this letter as notification that I have exercised the authority granted to the chair of the board to approve grant applications in excess of $50,000 for the purposes of meeting a submission deadline. Due to the grantor deadlines and the board's grant submission process and calendar, it was not possible to submit the application for full board consideration in accordance with our normal procedures. I have authorized the submission of the following grant applications. The first one is called the Revitalization and Placemaking Program, RAP 2.0 program for economic development. The amount is $7 million. The county match is $3.5 million or 50% of the award amount, and the grant application deadline is June 30th, 2023. And the second program was the Game Time National Demonstration Site Grant Program. That department was for, it was for Parks and Recreation in the amount of $174,172.50. And the grant application deadline for that was June 9th, 2023. Sincerely, David T. Woodward, Chair, Oakland County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you very much. I have two other communications that I just want to share. First, I know that there's been some communication. I know I talked a little bit about it in the Democratic caucus prior to this meeting, specifically as it relates to the Notre Dame SROs. I have said in the past that this will get done before the start of the next school year. We have a meeting scheduled in July. I'm going to speak to another item that we'll probably have to have a special meeting prior to that, and I'll speak to that in a second. But I remain committed to making sure that that happens. We have fiscal services and Corp Counsel reviewing some things, and I expect a resolution at the next time that we're able to gather together. Also, I made reference, I know commissioners know, but I just want to put on everyone's notice, the due diligence period for the downtown Pontiac County project that's underway, that we are in a purchase agreement with a 60-day due diligence period. That period expires July 17th. Which is prior to the scheduled next board meeting. So while the environmental appraisals, property condition reports, title searches, surveys, parking deck study, and a host of other things. But part of that due diligence is quite fully underway. It's not complete yet. As soon as all of that is complete, we'll probably need to convene and have a special meeting to decide on how to take action. So I just want to put that on notice, and just based on our schedule and the 60 days, unless we get an extension, that 60-day due diligence period ends July 17th. And so I just want to put that on everyone's notice. When we do convene that meeting, which is why I made reference a minute ago, that I believe it will be able to take up that issue as well as a host of other issues that have similar related issues related to contracting for law enforcement services. Without any further ado, can I get a motion to receive and file the presentation of proclamations and correspondence for today's meeting? Moved by Charlie, seconded by Joliet. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. And let the record reflect that motion passes unanimously. This will move us to the first public comment of tonight's meeting. This is an opportunity to speak on any items on the agenda. We have a second public comment after we address the consent on the rest of the agenda at the end of the meeting to speak on any other topic. So I don't believe anyone signed up. Is there anyone here to speak on public comment on any items that's currently on the agenda? Seeing none, I will close the first public comment. And I'll move to reports of standing committees. The first item up is the consent agenda. These are items that have moved through unanimously of our 4 standing committees. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Commissioner Hoffman, seconded by Commissioner Powell. And again, I made mention earlier that an item that went through the committee that wasn't on the last board meeting is on this one. So that was that item F under finance. Seeing no discussion on the consent agenda, I'll call on the clerk to please prompt the vote.
Mr. Chair, you have 17 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The consent agenda is adopted. That moves us to the regular agenda. I believe all the items for the Economic Development Infrastructure Committee were taken up during the consent agenda. Is that correct, Commissioner? The Chair? Commissioner Yolanda Smith-Charles says yes. As the same applies to the Finance Committee. All items were taken up under the consent agenda. That'll bring us to the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee. And I will call on the Vice Chair of the committee, Commissioner Brendan Johnson, to take up the one item that we have on the regular agenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have one item on our regular agenda today. It's a resolution entitled Resolution Supporting Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's proposed fiscal year 2024 budget to ensure full implementation of Proposal 2 and address historic disinvestment in election administration. Mr. Chair, I move to recommend the adoption of the foregoing resolution.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Powell. Commissioner Joliet.
Thank you. I had voted no on this in committee in that I had some challenges with this proposal on the ballot and that it wasn't, in my opinion, full disclosure at what the cost would be associated with this. With that being said, now that it has gone through, our locals do need the extra funding. So I will be voting no on this. It's my hope that there'll be some transparency on how this money will be dispersed.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further discussion? I'm going to be supporting this resolution. I think it's appropriate. We saw a good cross-section of our local clerks, the resources that they need to implement Proposal 2. And frankly, and we saw this during the pandemic, we had some communities that were well-funded to be able to administer elections, some that are less funded. This resolution speaks to encouraging the state to look at collaboration, and I think we've got model collaboration programs in Oakland County that, to me, is the way forward to ensure that every vote gets counted the most efficiently as possible, and I think it's a good resolution to support the funding that's necessary to make certain that democracy works. Any other discussion? See none. Madam Clerk, will you please prompt the vote?
Mr. Chair, you have 14 yeas, 3 nays.
A sufficient number vote in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That concludes the report of the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee.
All right, thank you very much. I think also as it relates to public health and safety, Commissioner Lubes, I believe all items were taken up under the consent agenda, correct? All right. Reports of special committees, there are none. Special order business, none. Unfinished business, none. That moves us to new and miscellaneous business. And we have an item, Parks and Recreation Parks Operations Partnership Agreement with the City of Madison Heights, and a request immediate consideration under new business. Can I get a motion to consider it immediate under new business? Moved by Commissioner Smith-Charles, seconded by Commissioner Long, two of our representatives on the Parks Commission. Any discussion on this item? Does anyone want to explain it? I'm sorry. No discussion to take up the matter immediately. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that passed unanimously. And so moved by Commissioner Smith-Charles, seconded by Commissioner Long. Does anyone want to speak to it? Commissioner Smith-Charles.
Sure, a few words, and perhaps Commissioner Long might want to say something as well. But as you all know, we have Oakland County Park Red Oaks, thank you. And Red Oaks, there's an extension, basically a little bit more land that will be coming under the fold. So everything's detailed there. City of Madison Heights, interlocal agreement. Anything else?
Oh, well, this will add, it was a little bit of a timing issue too. They've been working on it a long time. This will add 7 acres to Red Oaks. And so, it cleans up another agreement with the soccer field also. So I think that will be good, a good addition to Red Oaks and to the southern end of the county. So if anyone, I think that's about it.
Excellent,
you know.
yeah. And it's
relatively
relatively
a long time. It's the it's the rescue funds plan money going to it.
For the investments that will happen on it. It's relatively a cost neutral, it preserves land, part of the county park system. I think it's a win-win by all, and I know that it's a little time consideration that we're trying to make, and so we're I know Parks Commission will probably be taking the matter up. We're doing this one a little bit in reverse order because we're meeting tonight.
Yes, and also it's just $1 a year lease for that 7 acres, so it's a great deal. It's a great deal. So.
And while there is a red run, this is not it. So any further discussion? See none. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Commissioner Hoffman?
Yes, but it didn't prompt.
Okay. Mr. Chair, you have 17 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Next up, we have a resolution for introduction. I'll call on Commissioner Gingell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to introduce the sponsorship of the 2023 Arts, Beats, and Eats Festival in the city of Royal Oak with the chairman and myself sponsoring it as the introduction, and I'd like to refer that to Economic Development and Infrastructure and Finance.
Referred without objection. Is there any other items for introduction? I don't believe so. See none, we'll move to announcements. Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to recognize and announce in our audience this evening, we have esteemed City of Southfield Council member, Lenny Taylor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Lenny. Is there anything you'd like to say? I know we have a Juneteenth celebration Friday.
Yes, we have a week-long Juneteenth celebration. And I will be speaking on Monday, Juneteenth, at Heroes for celebration in the importance of Juneteenth for our area. But we have a whole week of activities in the city of Southfield. We raise the flag on Monday night, so please come by city of Southfield. We'll have, all kinds of music. We have a run, we have a walk. We also have the Underground Railroad came from Southfield.
Great.
Thank you, Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you very much. 2 times in 1 week, I had an opportunity to travel across the state with the councilwoman earlier this week at a really amazing housing, Andy's Place, which provides permanent housing for those in need. So it was good to see you again. Any other announcements? Commissioner Long, followed by Commissioner Gershenson.
Well,
and then
I just
Commissioner
want to
Powell.
remind everyone, I'm not sure if we're meeting before this, to remember to go out to the Oakland County Fair. It's a great event. It's July 7th through the 16th. And it may seem like the other side of the world for some of you guys in the county, but it's worth a visit to the other side of the world. It's a very good fair. So thank you.
I-75 diverts you off a road and you will drive right by it. It did that just recently. Commissioner Gershenson, followed by Commissioner Powell.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to say that the county had their Juneteenth event yesterday, and it was extraordinary. I wanted to give a shout out to Harry Weaver and Dawn Hunt, who many of us remember for her great work on HR. Also, the governor sent greetings, and I know that was a very special proclamation. It was a lot because of the work our county executive, Dave Coulter, has done and their relationship. It was an opportunity to reveal the plaque that we have designated for Elizabeth Forth, the first African-American landowner in Oakland County. And I spoke at the event, but I didn't have my glasses, so I missed a few things, and I was pretty disheveled. I want to be sure and call out Barbara Winter for the work she did on that project. It would not have happened without her.
The board's very own Barbara Winter.
And also Sarah Moreau, who organized a meeting on an interview with Channel 2 that Commissioner Spiz was invited to attend, and I stood in your place. But I have to call out Sarah because the preparation she did for me and the way she organized the interviewer, it was impressive, made it so easy, and I just wanted to be sure I gave her some props.
Applause for Sarah, who leads our communications team. And Commissioner Powell.
So I also was able to attend the Oakland County Juneteenth and speak yesterday because, and it was very heartfelt. And I was just so happy to see the turnout. It was amazing yesterday. So thank all of our Oakland County partners, our staff. Y'all did an amazing job. And then I also want to say, because I didn't at our last meeting, I have a graduate. My daughter graduated this year, so I'm a proud mom, and she's gonna be an Eagle, Eastern Michigan. She's going off to college. So, and then my third thing is, thank you. Yes, this mama worked hard. Thank God I got it through. Okay. And the most exciting thing though, well, outside of my daughter graduating, is that the city of Pontiac is hosting their first Juneteenth event, Freedom Day event in downtown Pontiac and also on Bagley Street. We have food, entertainment, fireworks, youth activities, you name it, we're gonna have it between hours of 12 and 4, a parade, and then we're capping everything off with a wonderful fireworks show. And guess who's coordinating it all? Ta-da! Angela Powell here for the City of Pontiac Mayor Tim Grimal. So please, if you all can come out and join us, please join us. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other announcements, Commissioner White? Yes.
I want to remind everybody that it's our job to help improve the internet in the Tri-County area. There's an ongoing survey right now at MichiganMoonshot.org, Tri-County Broadband. The answers to that survey will bring federal dollars to our area and Tri-County.
Oh.
It's everybody's job to get the word out. That survey is ongoing right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that information is going to be absolutely critical to evaluate the FCC, current assessment, identify gaps, and make us more eligible for those dollars to build out the infrastructure.
And I'm sorry, I just forgot to say the date. Saturday.
Commissioner Smith-Charles first, and then Commissioner Powell first.
Thank you. Echoing some of what you've heard so far, just to bring to your attention, the City of Oak Park will be having their summer blast on June 18th, and they are using hashtag Elevate Oak Park, so save that date. And also Royal Oak Township is having an event on Saturday, and the information I don't have in front of me, but just know that Royal Oak Township is also involved in celebrating the holiday. So thank you for the floor.
Excellent.
And
Commissioner
just-
Powell.
I forgot to tell everybody the date, of course. It's Saturday. Ours is Saturday, 12 to 10 p.m. So.
The Pontiac Juneteenth.
Yes, for the city of Pontiac, Juneteenth.
Excellent. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have a specific announcement, but I feel like as the resident queer, it's my job to frankly say, hey, it's Pride. No.
I was going to do it if you didn't.
Well, I got that by your tie. There have been a lot of events already in our great county. This is a great county full of lots of wonderful, wonderful LGBT people. A large percentage of their state's population of queer people live in Oakland County. Ferndale had their Pride already. Detroit had their Pride already. Rochester's is next week. I know Holly has one. Oxford has one. There's probably a Pride near you. It means a lot to a lot of young queer people to see a public elected official there, even if they're not saying anything, if they're not doing anything, just to have that acknowledgement that they are there. 45% of queer youth have considered suicide at some point, and a lot have attempted it. As a young queer person, I also want to thank all of you for not making this chamber difficult for me at all. And that's a pretty novel thing. I don't think we really appreciate that, but a decade ago, it probably wouldn't. I don't know. Coulter was here a decade ago, so I'm not sure. I can't speak for his experience, but it is a pretty remarkable thing for this to just be a very normal existence. So thank you to all of you.
Happy Pride Month. Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else? We can applaud to that, absolutely. No. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? I think we're good. Okay, well, we will go to the second public comment. Got a couple people who signed up, so this is an opportunity for the public to speak on any topic. We ask that you direct your comments to me, the chair. Keep your comments to 3 months. 3 months. 3 minutes. The clerk has an election to run. For 3 minutes. So we have a little timer up here to help you keep that going. I will call on the people who signed up on this first, and then anybody else who didn't sign up, just raise your hand and I'll call you in order. First, I'm going to call upon Lucas Lisecki from Farmington Hills. I've got some cities here. If you come up, I just asked you to give your city of residence, and Lucas, welcome.
All right, thank you for the 3 months to make a public comment. Good evening, commissioners. I'm Lucas Lisecki. I might be a familiar face, but I haven't been here in a while, but it's nice to be back, especially with a few new faces joining the board. And you can probably imagine I'm here to talk about transit, SMART in particular. The situation at SMART is improving, yes. We're grateful for the passage of the millage. We're grateful for your faith in public transportation, but the expansions are sort of less than what we'd hoped for, especially with the cutbacks in service that are being used to balance them out, and that is due in large part to the ongoing driver shortage, which is in turn due in large part to SMART's failure to effectively negotiate with the drivers, at least as far as we've seen. They've been working without a contract for nearly 6 months now, and the wages that they're being paid are not sufficient. You could make the same kind of money they're paying to drive a bus by working a cash register at Target. So I come here tonight, and I'll be the first of many voices from the advocate community, asking the Board of Commissioners and the county government to take some action to, light a fire under SMART, in essence, to be a little more enthusiastic and act with a little more urgency in solving the driver crisis. Because as much as it's going to be nice to have service in Novi and Wixom, that's going to mean cutbacks in service in Pontiac, in Farmington Hills, Southfield, and West Bloomfield, and that's not an acceptable trade-off in our opinion. I will give credit to the scheduling department at SMART. They did the best they could with the resources they were given, but the resources they were given are not adequate. We put our faith in this organization. They need to appreciate that, and they just need to do what's right with the funding and with the resources. So I kindly ask the board to take up this issue, get into some conversations with SMART, and see if there's any way they can help or hold them accountable, whatever they decide is the necessary course of action. Thank you, and happy Pride Month.
Thank you very much. Next up, I got Carrie McGowan from Rochester Hills. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. On March 31st, Oakland County awarded a contract to haul and house livestock to the Devoted Barn at their farm in Rose Township. 2 weeks before this contract was awarded, the Devoted Barn was evicted from the property in Rose Township. At the last hour, with nowhere to go, they moved to a farm in Springfield Township that's zoned for 11 livestock. They took over 100. And they left 5 cattle behind. On April 3rd, Oakland County gave the Devoted Barn 2 pigs. On May 21st, they gave them a steer. The director of the Devoted Barn has made public videos saying it cost $35,000 a month to care and feed for these animals. And if they don't get it from their donors, they will start euthanizing the animals. We'd like Oakland County to cancel this contract with the Devoted Barn and to stop sending animals to someone who has no facility of their own or means to care for them. We have a lot of information, court documents, etc., that we will be emailing you to support our position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else that would like to speak during public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment. We will stand adjourned until July 20th, 2023, which is our next scheduled meeting. But like I said before, most likely we'll be convening before that. So with that, we stand adjourned.